Okay. I am officially live now and having a quick setup for everything. This is a virtual space. If you guys want to go to this location, I will actually type the link. I should type the link.
I'm trying to get the screen up and running, guys. Give me a second. Show should start just in a moment.
No worries, no worries. Let me get this. Manny, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Are you watching the stream right now?
What?
Are you looking at the stream right now?
Yeah.
Can you turn on your mic and hit testing and see if you hear yourself? In the virtual world. Your volume okay? Chat. What's going on in chat? Oh, thank you. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Got that. And you can see me. You can see my hands moving. It's actually a little bit laggy. It's actually really laggy looking. Oh, snap. What did he post? I really need to fix this. Okay, let me do this right now because Streamlabs is getting a bit on my nerves.
There's a guy with a beard.
Wait, where? Oh, yeah. Who is that? Let me see. Cloudbot. Go to my page. Go to my link. Go to my channel. At Paul.
Alright, I'm trying some workarounds. I don't know what's happening right now. For the time being, you might want to just click the pop-up event door on the right here to see that. I'm working on it.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm just gonna probably close out of this and just do it straight from the source. But feel free to hang out here.
Oh, but I dressed up and everything. Look at
you can dress up and then you can have me on your computer as well. God damn it, Buttsmot. Buttsmot is so mean to me. Okay. I'm going to go to the link. And that may make more sense.
Yeah.
SilentTheater.com. Happening now.
Okay, I'll just switch on your stream then.
Why does it sound not
Megan.
working? It sounds not working. Okay, I'm going to...
Barely. Now, the property was ordinary this morning. Itself, Madame Caprice was having a unordinary thing about it and bore a number herself. For it was the solitary house on the hill, and there was only one hill when Gooseberry, the universe, decided to precisely this morning. Madame Caprice was having a cup of tea and mused to herself how much more there is to tea time than tea or time.
There we go.
When the universe decided to prove her now, of the townspeople, not much to be said. Most went about their days in their usual ways. Hellos were said, and yes, how are yous exchanged? Gooseberry Hill, hardly anyone overlooked there. Old Bridge Township. Now, of the townspeople, great, not much to be said.
Why is it double?
Most went every day, without fail. Monsieur Videt made sure that the open sign hung perfectly even in his toy store with hardly anyone meant. Is it good?
Yeah, Streamlabs.
Gotta be perfect.
Okay, is that better?
Yes? Good. He scrubbed the windows counterclockwise exactly 11 times and wished a good day twice to each of the usual passerbys on Old Bridge Square. He did so every single morning.
It's still double?
Except for on Tuesdays, when he regularly stopped by the local tavern for a drink and regularly ordered the same aged cognac in a short glass, please and thank you. He had his coffee at 8 in the morning, opened his toy shop an hour later, and designed games and toys until the clock tower struck 7 times. His daily routine was as regimented as the rules and regulations of the games and toys.
Is that
which he
better?
designed. On his way home, he stopped to buy the local newspaper. As he enjoyed doing the crossword puzzle over dinner. Yes, you see, a solitary game pleased him the most, as there was no one to cheat, no one to compete against, and no one to break the rules. You might have guessed, Monsieur Videt was the loneliest toy maker
Oh,
in all of Old Bridge.
it's because it's live, so
His
it's probably messed up
joyless
that way.
craftsmanship brought him an odd success
Okay.
amongst the wealthy
That's something I
older
can't fix.
debutantes who loved giving his trinkets to one another as novelty gifts, but no one knew of actual children who played with the elaborate toys and games. A light spring drizzle reminded him that he had once again forgotten his umbrella.
Okay, I'm gonna try this now.
When he noticed a red envelope. Upon further inspection and the discovery that it was from one Madame Caprice, who lived at 01 Gooseberry Hill, he made a point to think that this made his day quite peculiar indeed. Dear Monsieur Videt, my name is Madame Caprice, and I reside at 01 Gooseberry Hill. I am preparing for an adventure, and was wondering if you could use some too. For adventure is best when shared. And although I do hope this letter finds you on a peaceful day, I think the stress of adventure is worth 1,000 peaceful days. Milton. Excuse me. Milton here was so good at his profession that he couldn't possibly waste his sleight of hand skills being, I don't know, a baker? No. A charming rogue, his smile fooled many victims out of their purses, wallets, cell phones, pagers back in the early 90s. Newspapers, for example. For the town's anniversary one year, Milton stole the mayor's key to the city. The mayor failed to see the point, but Madame Caprice had laughed heartily at the deed. The light spring drizzle was picking up. If you can steal an opportunity, I would consider your company a great privilege. I hope that you don't rob us of your presence and join us on a journey of unordinary moments. Poe! Poe. This is Poe. Behind his back, Poe here was known as the Manic Mechanic by the rest of Oldbridge. He fixed things, and he made things, which was all fine and nice, except for his enthusiasm for it was really quite uncontainable. It just didn't sit well with the rest of the townsfolk any more than day-old shepherd's pie. Poe's father owned the local repair shop, and he minded very much that his son occupied his free time with inventions, especially now that the business was on the brink of bankruptcy. Poe's father blamed Poe for its downfall. Before he could quite figure out what was blocking the mechanism, Madame Caprice suddenly realized how much she enjoyed feeling the rain fall on her head and left to find a good puddle to wade through barefoot. So, you can either invent a million reasons to pass on this adventure, or you can come discover yourself and discover others and allow others to discover you. And, well, there will be lots of discovering. Mathilde. Mathilde's desk was located below the inner workings of the post office. The floor above hustled and bustled with postal workers earning their most efficient postal worker awards. But the dead mail room, where Mathilde finds herself 6 days a week, was pretty quiet. Occasionally, an undeliverable letter would come down the chute, and Mathilde would sort it into the bins. Upon her return, she grabbed the 3 letters that were waiting for her and hurried to sort them before anyone noticed her tardiness. The first letter she put into the Dear God pile. The second, a letter for Mr. Yamagachi, who has been dead for the past 2 years, she put into the Dearly Departed bin. And the third, she recognized as the usual letter for a Mr. Marlowe Clarence, which came down the chute about twice a year, but never bore a proper address. And this, as usual, she put into the unknown address bin. Her floor was known as the dungeon, but it suited Mathilde and her books just fine. And just as she was returning to her reading, another envelope flew down the chute. Mathilde started towards the North Pole bin, assuming that the red envelope was for the big guy. But instead of Santa Claus, her own name was scribbled on the scarlet paper. Mathilde Eunice Zora, Oldbridge Postal Office, the dungeon. She devoured the first few lines, but by the time she was on her 3rd read, she had memorized and mouthed along to the pace of her racing heart. In the words of your favorite author, those who do not believe in magic will never see it. After all, adventure is not everyone's cup of tea. But speaking of tea, tea time is at 4 o'clock. If you would like to come help sort all this out. Mathilde wondered how much taking a sick day would reflect on her office's perfect attendance evaluation, and then realized that no one would even notice her gone. And if she hurried, she could make it to the bakery for the mid-noon batch of snickerdoodles and freshly whipped cream to go with Madame Caprice tea. It's the town drunk. to say of the town drunk, for nobody knows his name. Stumbling about and fumbling about and doing tricks with his cane. Some say that he is a poet, although he doesn't really show it, and most folks are too scared or too unaware or just really don't care, so they won't know it. He's also the most verbose man to slur words like inconsequences. And, oh, hey, watch this. I am ambidextrous. Cheers. Either hand. There is no monetary gain if you come along on this adventure, but I promise you will be richer than you are now. We shall eat and drink and be merry. We shall tend to the gardens and to our hearts. And when our paths diverge, we can keep the change. Sincerely, Esteliana Capri. Dear Mary Constance, I received the most peculiar letter today. For a hair of a second, I even thought it was somehow from you. But no, it was from a Madame Caprice. And she sounds odd and batty, and you would love her, I think. She lives up on Old Gooseberry Hill, Mary. I haven't been there since we used to go sledding. Give my love to Mom and Pops. I know that they cannot forgive me, but they must be happy to be reunited with you. Yours, M. A P.S. It's on beautiful days such as these that I can hear your melodic laughter tiptoe on the breeze. For in the distance, adventure is looming in the air, and I would give up all my days just to meet you there. And it's in these moments when the breeze brushes my face that I am reminded that you never really left this place. And with that, the town drunk bought a stamp with his recent earnings, went to send off his letter, and then began to make his way up to Gooseberry Hill. On his way up, he stopped by one of the bushes, picked a gooseberry, and popped the tasty fruit in his mouth. They were always best at the start of summer. Mary Constance would have liked them very much indeed. He helped himself to a few more berries before continuing on up the hill. When the town drunk arrived, tea time was in high tide. And that is how the town drunk completed the cast of characters having tea that spring day at 01 Gooseberry Hill. That evening, they drank brandy, and they told stories, and they rummaged through old trunks in the attic, and they drew oceans and recited poetry, and they pretended to be sailors, and they sang a terribly off tune, and paid no attention to the hour. But by the time the sun peeked to see what the Madame was up to, it caught Gooseberry's inaugural production. Now, as far as the Sun can remember, it had never been privy to any sort of theatrics up there before. They wound up the Victrola, removed the Decembrists record from its sleeve, and the Mariner's Revenge song rang through the gooseberry bushes. We are two mariners, our ship's sole survivors, in this belly of a whale. Its ribs are ceiling beams, its guts are carpeting. I guess we have some time to kill. You may not remember me, I was a child of 3, and you a lad of 18. But I remember you, and I will relate to you how our histories interweave. At the time, you were a rake and aroused about spending all your money on the whores and hounds. Oh, you had a charming air, well, cheap and debonair. My widowed mother found so sweet. And so she took you in, her sheet still warm with him, now filled with filth and foul disease. As time wore on, you proved a dead-ridden drunken mess, leaving my mother a poor consumptive wretch. Oh, and then you disappeared, your gambling arrears, the only thing you left behind. And then the magistrate reclaimed our small estate, and my poor mother lost her mind. Then one day in spring, my dear sweet mother died. But before she did, I took her hand as she dying cried. Oh, bind him, tie him to a pole and break his fingers, splinters, drag him to a hole until he wakes up naked, clawing at the ceiling of his grave. It took me 15 years to swallow all my tears among the urchins in the streets, until a priory took pity and hired me to keep their vestry nice and neat. But never once in the employ of these holy men did I ever once turn my mind from the thought of revenge. Oh. One night I overheard the prior exchanging words with the penitent whaler from the sea. The captain of his ship, who matched you toe to tip, was known for wanton cruelty. The following day, I shipped to sea with a privateer. And in the whistle of the wind, I could almost hear. Oh, 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 find him, tie him to a pole and break his fingers, splinters, drag him to a hole until he wakes up naked, glowing at the ceiling of his grave. Oh, there is one thing I must say to you as you sail across the sea. Always your mother will watch over you as you avenge this wicked deed. And then that fateful night, we had you in our sight. After 20 months at sea, your starboard flank abeam, I was getting my muskets clean when came a rumbling from beneath. The ocean shook, the sky went black, and the captain wailed. And before us grew the angry jaws of a giant whale. Oh, oh, oh. Don't know how I survived. The crew all was chewed alive. I must have slipped between his teeth. But oh, what providence, what divine intelligence, that you should survive as well as me. It gives my heart great joy to see your eyes fill with fear. So lean in close and I will whisper the last words you'll hear. Oh, oh. Raise your hand if you thought it was real thunder. None of you. Strange. Ah! The next day, when Monsieur Videt returned home, he made sure that the closed sign hung perfectly even in his toy store window. The right side up just a little bit. Oh, change of pace. Well, he made sure the closed sign was on his window and went inside and shut the blinds. Now, if the residents of Old Bridge had not thought that Monsieur Videt was lonely and senile before, this pretty much sealed the deal. But he would toil away behind closed doors, and when he finally reemerged, folks could see him snickering to himself as he walked. It would take Monsieur Videt a year to complete the transformation of his toy shop, and it would take a year for the townsfolk and the townsfolk children to feast their eyes upon the incredible new playground which he would create for them. And for what he did, he got to live. And I don't just mean like I'm living. I mean like he got to live 1 year for every year that he wasted being lonely. But actually, some other things happened before that, and we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. For now, it is summer, and the sunflower looms over the garden. Poe is working on his latest invention. Milton is stealing sun rays. The town drunk as usual. Madame Caprice and Monsieur Vide are about to be engaged in a very complex game of Scandinavian checkers. You may not have heard of it. And Mathilde has been sifting through the library. I put the KY by the love bowl. Yeah, you heard me. That's what I said. And when to look for you. I put the KY by the love bowl. So you know that what I say is true. You see, I'm sick and tired of all the lies, of all the promises, front and false words. He said that he loved me, then left me alone, and baby, I know how that hurts. Woo! But being near you, dear, it makes my mind clear. The thoughts driven melt away. The clarity which you give to me makes me want to say, I love you. I love you too. But the words, they sound so cliche. So instead of blabbering in your ear, I want to show you how I'm feeling today. So I put the KY by the love bowl. I want to jump in it with you. So let's slip and slide on this dirty ride. Show me what you can do. I put the KY by the love bowl. K to the Y by the LOVE bowl. KY by the love bowl. Show me what you can do. Words don't tell a fraction of what actions can show, which is why I wrote this lube song for you. I lube you, I lube you, I lube too, buddy do. Musical break happens right here. with you by the love bowl. A K-Y by the love bowl. I put the K-Y by the love bowl to show you how much I lube you. The sun was drowning into the horizon on the longest summer that Oldbridge had ever seen. The day, the shy postal worker from the dungeon stole the thief's heart. He was inspired by her imagination and she saw his magic. Oh, except for that. Yeah, she missed that little bit of magic. She was his muse, and he was her dreamer, and together they would set off on many adventures, many summers, many new horizons after that first one. That first one on Gooseberry Hill. When Mathilde couldn't find the necklace that Madame Caprice had given to her, Madame Caprice insisted that it didn't go with her new garments anyways, and she simply must come inside and peruse the rest of the jewelry selection. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, Pepper Branch Mechanics finally shuts its doors. The Old Bridge Times. For the younger of you in the audience, this is called a newspaper. Do you know of them? They're like very, very slow iPhones. No? Too old? Understandable. Let's see. Let's read some headlines. Okay. Marijuana issue sent to joint subcommittee. That's what it says. Let's see what else. Oh, man. There's just so much tragedy in the world. It's really hard to process it all. Boy band loses cutest member. Whole world mourns. Ah. Why? This is real news, people. I'm not making this up, or am I? Let's see, what else? Hey, it's you! Can I read it? Let's see. Local repair shop shuts down after manic mechanic invents lightning bug bicycle headlights. How do you... That is brilliant. That is genius. This is garbage. Hey, don't worry, honey. It'll pass. It'll... the story of a fat old man who went to the beach but couldn't get a tan. He wore too much sunscreen every day, and his fat, disgusting body scared small children away. What? Oh, 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 let's laugh at other people's drama. Oh, 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 a little bit of gossip could hurt you and me. So, this is the story of a one-legged baby. Couldn't have walked a step if she tried, but that little baby never saw her birthday because she fell down the stairs and died. Oh, 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 let's laugh at other people's drama. Oh, 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 a little bit of gossip could hurt you and me. Now, this is the story of a woman who was vain, pretty, and demure until she went insane. She spent so much time in front of the mirror that when the mirror cracked, well, she cracked too. Oh, 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 everybody, let's laugh at other people's drama. Oh, 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 a little bit of gossip could hurt you and me. My favorite part, because this is the story of my own life. I keep the beat, guys, keep the beat. I can't seem to recall any of it. Perhaps if I hadn't spent so much time laughing at other people, then I would.
Hey, Mary, that last part, it doesn't even rhyme.
Okay.
That's terrible.
Art doesn't have to rhyme. Right, Jeff?
Good art should rhyme.
College professor in the audience. It doesn't have to rhyme. It doesn't have to rhyme. Oh, no, no. Oh, where is my own life's drama? Oh, no. This is all your fault. Why me? All this gossip is erasing me. Unresolved fears. Who did it? Who did it? Who did it? Who did it? Okay, listen, you know some spiders bite, right? And when it rains spiders and you're caught without your webrella, well, where would you... It's not a thing. It is a thing. It rains spiders. And you know, that's just exactly what the dear old residents of Oldbridge thought as well, that it didn't rain spiders. Until that September, the very year that the Oldbridge Times publishes their mocking opinions of Poe, whilst the local tarantula population was migrating to its favorite hibernating cavern atop Mount Diablo, when a gust of southern winds picked up the weary, unexpected travelers and dropped them unceremoniously over the equally unexpected residents of Oldbridge, like some kind of twitchy, hairy hail. Everybody scampered about. The entire town shut down, and a few spiders even lost their lives. This is about the time when Poe hears folks refer to him as the Manic Mechanic for the last time. And about the time when the Old Bridge Times publishes an article praising someone within 24 hours of ostracizing them. And about the time when Poe's Webrella becomes the first in a series of practical impracticals that make his father finally so very proud indeed. To the audience. I'm sorry. I told you she's drunk. Method actress. Oh, very nice. But it was a Sunday, and Mathilde, of all people, knew that the post office was closed on Sunday. But she wanted to get the Webrella's patent into the mail as quickly as possible. Milton also knew that no one should be at the post office on a Sunday. Mathilde was far less confused about why she was the recipient than as to why the package said its sender was anonymous, and what made it even more confusing was that Milton seemed like he didn't want to let it go. Meanwhile, up on Gooseberry Hill, of course, Madame Caprice, she knew all along that Milton had stolen the necklace. I mean, what kind of a thief would he be if he hadn't? Now, if they can only figure out what it is that he is really missing. They went inside to ponder on it and left the town drunk to await the last crimson leaf of autumn. Dear Mary Constance, it has been 16 years ago today since I last heard your laugh. I had avoided coming up to Gooseberry Hill since that day at the pond. But since Capri's invitation, I've spent most of my time here. And you know what, Mary? I belong here. I do. I belong here amongst the gooseberry bushes, and I feel a part of the earth, and your laughter echoes endlessly in the open skies here, and I am able to hold on to the joy of those childhood days, of laughing until our stomachs hurt, of being happy together. And yet, no amount of time, or booze or tea has managed to wash away the grief and the guilt and the immense loss that has found a home inside my chest. I lay awake at night and your laughter turns into screams that echo endlessly in the chambers of my mind.
Time for your medication!
I am so truly sorry, my darling sister. I would give anything to have seen you grow up. Give my love to Mom and Pops. Yours truly, M. And P.S. The C in Caprice, it's actually silent. It's actually pronounced Capri. What is that? Is that French? It's really quite silly, Mary, don't you think? To spell with a letter you don't wish to speak. A poor little C in the midst of a word, just waiting for the day that it might be heard.
Mary, it's time for you to take your medication.
I would love to, but I'm really quite busy right now.
Okay, Mary, it's time to take off the tutu.
What is that song that you're playing?
Mary,
That's not...
Mary, please report to the common room and take your medication.
How does it go?
Selling to grow needs plastic flowers. It's a bit dead in this room, she said, all long hours. Fraulein Stolz, who loved to waltz, but oh, he plays disco music. Near the river, she got wet. In the sewer, she would lose it. And on her collar, the world was leaving. And on her sleeve, the final hour, leaving. Fair weather plan, canopies, intense all spread occasional. Rain is coming down. Fair weather plan, canopies, tents all spread occasional. Rain is coming down. Sudden eyelids closing down. The snow shine melting colored ground. In the waiting morning, taking up performing blue suited king clown, leaving for the ghost town, yeah, my dear. And on her collar, the world was leaving. And on her sleeve, the final hour, leaving. Fair weather plan, canopies, intense all spread occasional. Rain is coming down. Rain is coming down. plan canopies and tents all spread occasional. Rain is coming down. Fair weather plan canopies, tents all spread occasional. Rain is coming down. Beyond glass eyes, there's memory, rumors in town. No one knows the rules, no one feels the ground. In the streets, no one's gathering. Roads christened and oil-lit, calendars ring. Years and years of telling you got a better one. Are you stealing or selling? I think it's so. But you and I, my love, we're sailing away through the fall. Beyond the walls there's yellow, no one hears a word. Beyond pictures, people stolen, posing in the cold. On the streets, no one's gathering. Roads crossing me, no one calendars ring. But you and I, my love, we're sailing away through the fall. You and I, my love, we're sailing away through the fall. streets, no one's gathering. Roads christening oil and calendars ring. Years and years of telling you better, better run. Are you stealing or selling? I think it's so. But you and I, my love, we're sailing away through the fog. Behind the walls there's yelling, no one hears a word. Behind pictures, people stolen, posing in the cold. And on the streets, no one's gathering. Roads crossing me, no one calendars ring. But you and I, my love, we're sailing away through the fog. You and I, my love, we're sailing away through the fog.
Mary. Tea.
Oh, Mary, it's okay. It's okay. Today's a good day, right?
Yes. Nurse Liz,
Yes.
this is on a completely different subject.
Different subject. Yeah, let's change the subject.
Have you heard of John Steinbeck?
I have. Yes.
And do you know any of the things that he's written?
I do. He wrote Of Mice and Men.
Right.
He wrote Pearl.
Right.
He wrote Grapes of Wrath.
Right.
What else did he write? Anybody? He wrote.
He wrote short stories.
He did,
That's
right.
what he wrote.
You know, I didn't even know that.
Yes, and Nurse Liz, I'm going to tell you, the ideal British fishing story would go something like this. I'm getting into character. It just takes a moment. Under a sublow. That was a bit unexpected. Under a submerged log, in a stream, meandering through a beautiful meadow, lies an ancient and brilliant trout, which for years has outwitted the very best that can be brought against him. He's called. He's called Old George. Not just Old George. Old George. Now, the fact that Old George has survived for so long can be attributed to the very gentlemanly rules of conduct set out between trout and English. So, under these rules, a fisherman must use an improper tackle and a fly that Old George is known to find distasteful. So, in the ideal fishing story, our angler reads eyes of water to brush upon his philosophic background. He smokes many pipes, produces all languages from grunts, gets and sets off to have an evening of a go at Old George. He creeps up to the sunken log and drops his badly tied fly upstream so that it will practically float into Old George's mouth. Now this has been happening to Old George every summer evening for 15 years. But one evening, perhaps Old George is bored. And then the angler, with tears streaming from his eyes, pulls Old George out onto the grassy bank. And there, with full military honors and a sense of sorrow from the whole community, Old George flops to his death. The fisherman eats Old George, boiled with Brussels sprouts. He sews a black band around his arm and gains the power of speech to sufficiently bore the hell out of the local pub for years to come. And sing.
Play number 5, The Merchant of Hope. Ding, 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 ding. Because I was like, I know, totally.
Bye, hi, solo. Bye, hi, solo. Where is she?
Oh, hi, honey, hi.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You are, what are you doing? I'm trying to, now get out!
So sorry, excuse us. We'll just go on down the bridge.
Excuse us,
He's a
indeed.
little crazy, isn't he?
That's right. Oh, this is the perfect spot. Oh, hey. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray.
Never know, dear, how much I love you.
Please don't take my sunshine away. Now get out of here.
Oh my God, he's gone crazy. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Go.
That's right.
Oh. Ding, 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 life is so dull. The sky is so gray. Ding, 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 ding. Why, yes, I'll take it.
Cha-ching.
Oh, of course. 100,
Oh, perfect.
200,
Oh,
300.
yeah.
Blank check, that's all I have. I hope it's enough.
Yeah.
This guy's cleared up, hasn't it? What a wonderful feeling. Excuse me.
Oh,
This way.
oh yeah, that way. Yeah. Here, money, 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 money,
Watch
money, money, money,
it,
money, 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 money. Ooh.
Grumble, grumble. Speeding tickets. Grumble, grumble. Hemorrhoids. Grumble, grumble. Yeah, I will take it. I'll take it.
Cha-ching.
I just spent all my money on hemorrhoid cream.
Hemorrhoid cream. Get out of here.
Please, you gotta help me out here.
No. Get out of. Whoa. Slow your Rolex.
Grandfather's Rolex. I really can't part with
Oh,
it.
it goes perfect with my yellow hat. Follow me.
Okay, material objects don't mean something. Oh my God! Thank you, thank you. I feel great. I feel an equal
Hey, buddy, what time is it?
Okay.
Oh.
Lapsy, where are you? Hi, mister. I'll take it.
Cha-ching.
Oh, good. I just got my allowance. Let's see. 10, 25.
25 cents.
Yeah. And a tap dance for you.
Wow, that's actually pretty good. I'll give it to you.
Oh, I think I hear her. Is that Flapsy?
Whoa. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Son of a.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Cha-cha.
I have no money. Wait. I picked this rare flower this morning. You can have it.
Oh. Stupid flower. Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of here!
Okay. I'm going.
Made myself clear.
How tall is this thing?
Ooh.
Let's see.
Whoa. Eesh.
Okay.
Well, here's my cute leaf.
God forgive me.
You.
What I'm gonna do.
No, don't.
I gotta get off of here. I gotta get off of here.
Whoa, that was a close one. Ooh.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It worked.
The gang at Gooseberry had no idea that Milton had grown up in an orphanage. They didn't know that at the age of 7, he realized that he picked pockets better than fights and took to the streets. They didn't know that Milton's mother died giving birth to him, or that his dad tried raising him as best he could. They didn't know that Milton's only memory of his father was a postcard of a great giant air balloon that he gave him as he dropped him off at St. Francis. On the back of the postcard, the words, "You are better off without me," written in troubled handwriting. No one had any idea that that was the last time anyone had given Milton something for free. Well, let's see now. Where are we? It has been about a year now since Madame Caprice sent off her scarlet invitations. Monsieur Videt is close to the completion of his new toy shop. Poe is now running the family business as his father enjoys bragging about snow-melting car tires. Can you believe it? Milton and Mathilde are pretty inseparable. And the town drunk. The town drunk has been staying with Madame Caprice, helping tend to the house and garden. The first place he has been able to call home in 16 years. Play number 6? Just for you, Madame Caprice, just for you. Step right up, look into my eyes. You will find many surprises there. But if it is the truth you seek, I really can't promise you that. It's illusion. Now it's back to your humdrum life. Working man and trophy wife. Watch TV and eat your meals. Don't think about how you are feeling. It's illusion. Illusion. Don't speak, just meet me back here whenever the moon is full and clear. I will share such things with you you can't even imagine. It's illusion. Now your life has hit the rocks. Step outside of your mental box. Nothing is as it seems to be. It's merely an illusion. Life is simply a stage. How will you choose to engage? Pick your part and enjoy your role before the curtain falls. It happened on a morning. Yes, it all happened on a morning when Mathilde was working at the post office and Milton came to pay her a little visit. After a little bit of snickerdoodling, if you know what I mean, Milton decided he would go buy her a present of her favorite snickerdoodles from the bakery. When a letter came down the chute. Mathilde was about to sort it into the unknown address bin as per the stamp suggestion when her eye caught the address, Mr. Marlowe Clarence, 01 Gooseberry Hill. But Madame Caprice had never mentioned a Marlowe Clarence, and yet Mathilde knew the name just the same. You may remember a letter frame, Mr. Marlowe Clarence, came down the chute about twice a year, but never had it before had a proper address. Mathilde collected the rest of Mr. Clarence's post. Meanwhile, up on Gooseberry Hill, Madame Caprice and the town drunk were enjoying a quiet cup of tea. Madame Caprice was reading Camus in French as her intoxicated company scribed another letter to his Mary Constance. Dear Mr. Marlowe Clarence, in your last letter, you mentioned a place called Gooseberry, and if my memory of Old Bridge serves me correctly, there is only one property, one possible address, a 01 Gooseberry Hill, and perhaps your Madame Caprice knows how to find you. I have been reading the letters that you have been writing to your sister for the last 16 years and answering them, although I doubt very much that any of my correspondence has ever reached you. If you ever hold this letter in your hands, please know that although your words were not intended for me, I wake up every day excited for the midday post, for the world that you have given me, and the glimpses, and the sanity, and the curiosity of it all. I thank you. Sincerely, Mary G. Wilkins. Dear Mr. Marlowe Clarence, my name is Mary G. Wilkins, and I live at 1914 Serenity Court. Did you know that your cursive C's look very similar to your uncursive G's? This causes a very silly clerical error at the post office, and since you've been addressing your letters to 1914 Serenity Drive, which is the cemetery, the post office kindly reroutes your letters to our little Serenity Mansion for the mentally ill, and hence I, Mary G. Wilkins, am the recipient of my very first letter at Midday Post. Dear Mr. Marlowe Clarence, I think the people with a first name for a last and a last name for a first are quite interesting. You really have such a way with words, and I'm sure that your sister would forgive you for whatever it is that you've done. It is so nice of you to tell her about the lilac trees in springtime. Sometimes when the wind blows from the right direction, I do think that I can smell those lilacs. And I imagine that the wind must have just left your park and that we must actually be rather close. Dear Mr. Marlowe Clarence, your last letter made me very sad indeed. I am sorry to hear that your parents won't speak to you. It really is not your fault that the ice broke. And if your sister could read your letters, she would tell you the same thing, I bet. She would tell you that she's happy that you were not on the sled with her. Dear Mr. Marlowe Clarence, I knew that I was gonna get a letter from you today. I woke up from a dream in a place named after a dead composer. There were 6 view-obstructing columns and a cement floor and strange cameras all around. And you were there, and you were sitting underneath a giant cartoonish sunflower, and there were people there watching you laugh and weep at the same time. Somewhere in the air, music existed inside tiny little floating Prosecco bottles. And when they got too close to the sun, they burst in joyful chimes, and they disappeared. And then I disappeared with them.
Midday Post! Mary, there's a letter for you.
I disappeared.
Oh, that's okay. Somebody found you. Okay? I'm gonna leave that right there.
Dear Mary G. Williams, for reasons unexplained, every person in the world is born with a large, gaping hole in the center of their chest. While not uncomfortable, it is widely considered unsightly, and pretty much everyone tries to fill it with something. Some people fill it with religion, others just buy a bunch of stuff, and some even fill it with other folks. I left mine alone though because I found out if you run against the wind at just the right angle, it makes a whistling noise. I hope you can feel the winds, Mary. Off I go. Marlowe Clarence will reside at 01 Gooseberry Hill from now on. Sure loves hearing from you. With love, Stella.
Life is but a dream, so take this waltz with me. We'll walk down the road again. It's the beginning, it's not the end. As we row, row, row our boats gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 for life is but a dream. Life is but a dream, so take this waltz with me. Pour another cup of tea, one for you and me, as we watch our faces float away before each bubble pops. Navigate, it's never too late, for life is but a dream. Dear fellow traveler, I am preparing for an adventure. For life is but a... dream. So take this waltz with me.